just check that the warning light is working. So that's the battery light, neutral, brake light. So hopefully this should flash up when I start the bike. I managed to get this light to come on, and it should look like this one, bright red. And then it wouldn't come back on again. So what I think has happened is that the wiring, where it connects here, I think this is actually damaged here. I think it's broken inside. So I'm going to remake that connection and hopefully that will fix my problem. I've got this much wire to play with, so I'm just going to crop it off there and remake the joint, and hopefully that will fix my problem. So I've cut the wire down and I've remade the connection, and that hasn't made any difference at all. In order to check it, I run a jump wire hung on there and connect the other end to the earth bundle that's just down here. If the circuit was complete, that would light the lamp up. Now, it did light the lamp up earlier, but it doesn't do it now, so there must be some other break in the circuit. To trace the connection to the loom, I've had to take the tank off, and on my bike that's pretty easy. You just undo the two fuel pipes, you undo the electrical connection at the back of the tank, and you just lift the tank up, pull it backwards, and put it down on the floor on top of a cloth to stop it getting damaged. Now, the connection, I've followed it up from the bottom, is this white connector. There's the part that's come from the sensor, and this is the connection, and I looked in there and I found that that was really quite badly corroded. I've cleaned the connector and I've just put a jump wire that goes all the way down so that I can touch it to the earth bundle just there. When I touch it to the earth bundle, the light comes on. So the circuit that's going from that connector to that light is working correctly. So it means either that connection there is all corroded up, or that the wire that goes down to the sender is damaged. So that's the next thing to find out. Right, it looks like that I've been very lucky. I've cleaned this all up and connected it back together, and then I've put the jump wire onto the end of this wire, so that connects onto there. The jump wire is connected directly onto that wire. I touch this to the earth bundle like that, and that makes the light come on. So I have now reconnected that circuit. So the last thing to do is to connect it back onto the sender. So if I just pull that wire off, I put it onto the sender, and la voila, the light is on. So it's all come down to corrosion in that connector there. I might wrap that in tape, because it wasn't that long ago that I had this all apart and cleaned it all out, so that doesn't happen again. Just one final check. That is actually working when the tank's back on. So yes, that's off, that's on. All good. Is the connection that goes into the back of the speedometer that sends the pulse to the light, and on mine it's easy to get at. All you need is to take the headlight off. To take the headlight off, just undo the Allen headed bolt on both sides. Once both the screws are out, you can just roll it forward and drop it down. Up inside is where the loom goes into the back of the Speedo. Now mine's got this metal plate on it that I put on. This is a sprung plate to keep this pushed on tight, because if these get loose or rubbish and dirt gets in them, all your dials play up. So I put that on there a long time ago. I'm thinking that maybe there's a discontinuity in there. All you need to do is take this screw out. Plastic cover just pops off, and there are your connectors, and you really need to work out which one's going to be the connector. They come out as a pair, so that one can just pop out, and then that one can just pop out. And if you look into them, it's not very clear, but these ones are all connected. These ones don't actually have connections in them. Not really sure what they're for. Bits on the bike that I don't have. Looking into the back of the Speedo now, there's all the round pin connections. I'm just going to carefully scrape each one clean, and I'm also going to clean these connectors just to make sure. One of the things I found many years ago is, as well as having this spring plate, I had to put these little plastic inserts in order to keep the connections nice and firm. Otherwise they had a habit of vibrating out and parts of the Speedo would stop working, which is really annoying. So with all the connections cleaned up, what you can do is, if you get your hand in the back of it, you can disconnect that side of it, or you can disconnect that side of it, and you can see which ones affect which one, and that light will not come on, whereas before it did. So it means the discontinuity is somewhere between here and the unit in itself, which is a real bugger because it means I've got to go under the tank and find the loom.